Hi, my name is Orion, and I will be investigating the use of virtual reality as an alternative to more common physical types of exercise, like maybe riding a bike or going to the park. Uh, uh, this year has been kind of a mess considering the pandemic, and a lot of stuff that people might want to do, whatever activities, going to the park, whatever, exercise, they can't do because there's quarantine. So hopefully there might be a way to use virtual reality, or more commonly seen as VR, as an alternative for exercise. Another reason I'm looking into this is because my dad's been using virtual reality for a while now as a alternative to maybe going on a run, because he's got flat feet and running is fairly difficult when you have flat feet. For the test, I'm using Beat Saber, which is a fairly common VR fitness game. And as for normal physical, I'm going to be using walking for my tests. And I believe that Beat Saber, it will probably have a much better calorie per minute. Well, it'll do better with calories per minute, but it will be less consistent, considering the fact that you do have to go through menus and it's built in maps and it's a game, so it's going to be less fluid than just going on a walk. Now, the way I'm getting my information is from my dad, who wears a fitness watch, and he can record different fitness VR or walking, hiking sessions on the watch. Around 300, a little over 300 total right now that I'm using, and there's around 200 that are VR fitness, and there's about 100 that are walking or hiking. And the information that I got from it that I'm using from it includes calories, time, heart rate, and my dad is using a Garmin brand fitness watch. So the Garmin has an aerobic training scale from 1 to 5 that can show you how intense your exercise was. And those are the units I will be using. Now, starting with calories per minute, the Beat Saber, you'll notice that the average, it's much higher at around 10 or 11 than walking, which hits at around 7 for an average. And then if we go on to the next slide, you'll notice there's a lot more information, which it's a lot of information. But one thing to notice is that there happens to be data points that are known to be out of control in standards. So that would be the red points that are specifically, and you'll notice this for other graphs, is that they are far more abundant on the Beat Saber graphs than on the walking graphs. And then the next thing I'm looking at is average heart rate. So on Beat Saber, you'll notice that it's around 135, 132 beats per minute. While walking, it's sitting closer to around 100 at an average. And as a general point to reference, the upper end of walking starts hitting on the bottom end of Beat Saber down here in terms of points per or beats per minute. And then there's also a lot more information on heart rate, which you'll be able to notice the same effect with the data being out of control, statistically out of control over here with the Beat Saber. There is a little bit, just a tiny bit over here, but that's it. Then moving on to the aerobic scale, with Beat Saber, it's sitting close to around 3.5, so right around the middle of the scale, from 1 to 5. And walking is sitting, well, doesn't seem to have one single average, but it does hit at 1 or 2, and just seems to congregate around those areas. And I found that from the data that Beat Saber does indeed, it puts out more calories per minute, higher heart rate, and has just a general more intense exercise than walking. But as I expected, that it also is less consistent. So it's less consistent. And the exact reason why it was inconsistent, I couldn't exactly tell, but there could be a number of different reasons, including just having a not as good day as he did yesterday playing Beat Saber. And another thing to probably not overlook is the difference between an exercise with an upper body, like Beat Saber, where you're mainly moving your arms, whereas with walking, you're mainly using your legs. So that shouldn't be overlooked. And if I were to go on do this, continue on this, I would look into the idea of a VR treadmill, because they're not inexpensive, but the price is going down, and so they may be able to hit into a consumer market, and that would be able to involve your legs in a VR fitness program, and possibly deal with the fact that instead of only using your upper body, you can use your upper and lower. So that's it. Thank you. Thank you for listening to my presentation.